What's happening, everybody? Ralski here. I just got finished jamming, and as I'm jamming, sometimes thoughts are all up in my head, and I'm like, well, I got to get them out. So this is just another random tidbit of information from my brain to yours. So let's get cracking. When I was in college, I noticed that, I took a bunch of classes. I think I took like 6 courses in one semester. English always being one of them, which I generally aced. I took anthropology just out of curiosity. I took some kind of acting class that I dropped out of. I dropped out of anthropology as well. A couple other random classes, and then I took philosophy, I took psychology, and an art class. That's what it was. What I learned from that was I took psychology and philosophy, and those two things are so polar opposites. That was really one of the first times where I felt, I wonder which side I roll on. Now, anthropology was interesting because, they're teaching us about, dinosaurs and all of this kinds of stuff. I brought up religion. It confused the teacher. He didn't really have an answer. And then I just dropped the class just because, I thought if people believe in anthropology, then they can't believe in religion, right? And if people believe in religion, then they really don't believe in dinosaurs because they believe in God. So, but that's a whole nother discussion for another time, I suppose. But between psychology and philosophy, I had no clue that there was a difference. I just took these fancy word classes and tried to cram them all into my first year of college. What I learned was that, the difference between, say, psychology is more factual information. It's taking scientific information, stuff that has been studied and applied, and then therefore becomes scientific, and historical events are mapped out, and these are postulates, theories, theorems, all of these things that people use in order to figure out a problem. I was never good in math in college, but I did somehow get through, and I wouldn't want to do it again.
Those are 3 of my least favorite things. Oh, and raisins, because I don't like to eat things with wrinkles.
But anyways, psychology deals with facts, whereas something like philosophy deals with kind of more open-minded thought. Now, hear me out. This is an example. If you look at a picture of this, most of you would come up with what? That's right, a tree. It's a tree. Everybody knows it's a tree. There's no argument that it isn't a tree, right? But philosophy tells you, well, if you look at it from a different perspective and from a different frame of mind, what else can you see? And once I put myself in that state of mind, I thought, well, I see branches, I see leaves, I see colors, I see texture. And now I'm like, well, what if I were to smell? What would I smell? I'm smelling the bark, I'm smelling the leaves, I'm smelling the grass beneath it, I'm smelling the air. Now I'm engulfed in this concept of, instead of just looking at it as a tree, I'm absorbing all of these other elements around that. So imagine applying that kind of open-mindedness and that kind of perception to everything in the world. You're going to be kind of overwhelmed.
Uh-oh.
Sounds awesome.
Aha!
Yeah,
All
awesome.
right.
Big power.
Huh.
Sounds like a dog.
Psychology deals with facts. These are the facts. There's no other denying it. It's a tree, yes. It's made of wood. It's got leaves, branches, and whatever. But we can make pencils and paper and houses and all kinds of other stuff out of it. But yeah, no big deal. It's a tree.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
Okay. So those two ways of thinking I understand them both, but I lean towards the open-minded, this is how I view things. I don't see a tree as something to make pencils or paper out of. I see a tree as something that is alive and growing on this earth. When I take a hike and I look at random rocks or mountains or the sky or the sun setting or the cloud formation, I do the same thing. Textures, if I'm barefooted in the grass and the sand, all of these things are things that I feel. So it triggers these sensory things inside of me that expand and open up my usually joy, which opens that up. I haven't done it in quite a while. I probably should. But aside from that, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you, my perspective of the two different things, two different ways of thinking. How do you think? Did you ever think of this before? Are you going to think of this now? Drop me a line down in the comments. Let me know what you thought, and I'll get back to you again soon. Peace.